So hello everybody, welcome back to my channel! You've been playing Refunds Me for over a week now, and I'm sure everything is super confusing. So what are the million things on your map? What are the oddities? And what does it do? There is millions of them. I don't know how to catch them all. Where to get the free cosmetics? What are Gacha pities? I pulled for the last banner. Will the pull carry over to the next banner? Why are some cat looking at me expectantly? How am I supposed to know how to deal with that? Why can't I play the drinking game? It's so hard, like how can anyone play it? Why can't I find the 9 drinks to join the reading tides? What do you mean steal skills from another sect? How on earth am I gonna do that? What are professions? Why can't other people heal people? They're not even from Silver Needle. What are inner ways? They're just like mystic skills. The tips and notes look exactly the same. How can you say they're different? What do you mean I can't auto upgrade? What are all the specifics in the weapons? I should definitely save all the materials for later when my levels are so much higher, right? So I'm gonna answer all of that question in one video and more. So please go check the specific questions that you wanted to know in the chapter below. So first of all, the weapons of martial arts. You start with 2 martial arts and choose a weapon type: spear, sword, umbrella, or fan. Remember, weapon does not equal to martial art. 2 people can use the same weapon, but one umbrella might deal damage while another heals. If you want to switch martial arts later, basically you just go to your martial art tab, and there you can browse all the different martial arts that you haven't learned yet. You click a random one, and then there are either hints or locations to where you can actually learn the martial art. If they only give you a very vague hints, you have to explore a little bit, but 99% of the chance they are near a mountain. So it's like in the cave or something. Circling around a mountain actually works. You also need to use your ear skill because they can still see you. Once you go in, you also need to use your ear skill because they can still see you, despite you being translucent. So you need to track the enemy's eyesight to know where not to go. Don't be disencouraged if someone spotted you. You can either run to the other way or just respawn, which is why saving the progress as much as possible works. Just look for a hat hanging on a sword. That's the process marker and the place where you will be respawned next. Also, once you go in, they will always have a tracker telling you where to go and how far is a prime spot for stealing, but you might also want to steal their treasure chest when they're not looking. Once you're in the spot though, always click the yellow circle, not clicking the gray circle. If you do it 5 times correctly, you're done. Weapon upgrades. At the beginning, the UI can be super confusing. Trust me, I know. I've been through like maybe 2 months of total confusion before I kinda know what this is all about. So if you don't really know right now, you're good. You haven't been playing for that long. Personally, I would recommend at this point in your life, if you are still below level 60, just click Quick Enhance to auto upgrade. I do have some tips though, like for your future as well as like for beginning to understand the whole confusing UI. First of all the weapon works like if you're level 51, all of the bosses and mobs you fight in your world is also tier 51, and the weapon drops are also tier 51, but if you enhance your weapons before, the overall number of mastery is actually higher than the new weapon you acquired. So the system won't remind you that you have a better weapon sometimes. You could still be using a tier 31 weapon which has a higher mastery level than when you're level 61, and that's not good for your stats obviously. Also, the weapon tier doesn't have 1 to 100, it's always like 71, 76, 81, 86, etc. So every 5 levels. You can't use weapon tiers as higher than your level, so if you're level 60, you can only use tier 55 weapons. If you notice some of your weapon didn't match your level, just fight new bosses. or buy from the no grind store. It's actually very easy to acquire. That is why, like, even if you don't really like fighting bosses, you can still advance. So many different weapons that you can buy in the store. And no, you cannot pay real money to get better gears. Also, once you hit level 61, that's when you can start using the golden weapons, which is like the rarest weapon in the game. You might see some of the weapons are golden, but you can't equip them. That is why you need to go catch some oddities or complete the Meow Meow challenge. I'll talk about that in the following chapters. For the specifics, I'm sure there are so much more qualified people to talk about this, and each person had their own need. For example, if you're into exploring, obviously your specs are not gonna be exactly the same as a PvP player. So there aren't any prime or ultimate combo, like best weapon in the game. No, like every weapon is different and every weapon has their moment to shine. However, I will give you some very general tips. You have to focus on the specifics when you enhance your weapons. Read them carefully, not just focus on the numbers of mastery when you change weapons or enhance your weapon. Max HP doesn't help if you do not use healing weapons. Defense doesn't help if you're not tanking. Fan healing boost only help if you're using a fan. Umbrella damage boost only applies when you're using an attacking umbrella, not the healing umbrella. Also, use diamond seashells for top tier upgrades. It will give you maximum golden stats. Gold seashells works too because that will give you golden stats, just not maximum numbers though. Definitely use purple seashells before you reach level 61. Your old weapons are still useful. They contribute to your stats in the armory. So don't worry about saving upgrade materials for later. Level 61 upgrade material only works on level 61 weapons. You should always upgrade your weapons any chance you get. Martial arts, inner ways, and mystic skills. These are the things that actually helps you fight. You already know that, right? So use tips and upgrade drops to enhance your martial arts. If you don't know how to get tips, tips is basically always available at any type of fights, perhaps except the PvPs. So any of the bosses, either in your world or in dungeons, co-op, whatever, they usually give you tips. And upgrade drops are usually for the smaller mobs or smaller bosses on your map. So your mystic skills, especially for the higher level ones, really powerful ones, they often require oddities to fully actualize. So, for example, if you never catch oddities, some of the mystic skills you can never use. Because, for example, if you need at least 6.2 to release one mystic skill, but you only have 2 points, obviously you're never gonna use it, even though you equip that onto your weapon roll. You acquire the mystic skills by complete specific task in the game. Just click through the UI, it will either take you to the location or give you very obvious hints on where to get them. Don't worry if the best comeback skill martial arts aren't available to you yet. For example, there's a flute skill in Hexi. You meet this monk in this place, play the flute, complete his small task, and talk to him again to get this skill. Inner way skills can usually be acquired by opening some treasure chest. Some of it just require one treasure chest, some of it requires to open multiple treasure chests. So they're very important. Always find and open treasure chests. There are, of course, some very special ones that require you to go to some place and find out for yourself, but they usually will give you a range of locations so that you can go there and check it out. Professions. Many players think the whole thing with healers and silver needle is super confusing. It's the localization's fault. Professions are actually not professions but side gigs, independent of your sect. Healers, they heal others for coins, experience, and likes. Scholars, they do the persuasion minigames that's useful for recruiting employees for your estate later. You can mix and match. Your sect doesn't limit what side gigs you can do. Everybody can be both a healer and a scholar. Talents. Talents come from treasure chests as well. They're random but essential, so always go open treasure chest. Fire, water, poison buffs. These buffs help your weapon deal extra damage. So the fire came from any flames or bonfire, water came from water surfaces, and poison came from mushrooms. I will show you the best place to collect them on the map. I showed you guys two places I think are best for fire and for mushrooms. If you've got it, please just go to the next chapter.
儿子，可千万别在里边儿。
全部给我打开，仔细检查。哪来的？我所交出来。
气度不凡呀！你说他钱袋放哪儿了？
怎么又到练武的时候了？哎呦，我这腿好重啊！
教练穿成这样了，赶紧爬！我的脸就懵了。
哎，辛苦讨饭大半年，可算是。花蕊入黄泉水，像实在是像。你说，咱成了那个主皇帝，你信吗？
Every clickable marker on the map is a place or minigame that you can do or go. Some players ask how to join the Raging Tides. You can't join that yet, unfortunately, on global, but you can start preparing. You do need to collect the 9 different ones that I talk about. These ones aren't marked on the big map. So talking about the big maps, the game actually has 2 map views. The big map, which shows you the full areas at one glance, But there is also the mini map. A lot of things doesn't appear on the big maps. Like for example, food stalls, oddities, treasure chests, they only appear in your small map once you are in the specific location close enough to actually see these things. Like even if you do not join the raging tides, it's always good to visit some of the food stalls because the food gives you buffs. Sometimes it increases mining or they give you attack bonuses. So basically, whichever the player that you are, these food stalls are very important. I know quite a lot of players eat these buffs before running dungeons. So when you first visit a vendor, you can only buy basic items, which usually give like a 10% bonuses. As you buy more of the basic items from them, you'll unlock stronger buffs food, often giving you 20% bonuses. There's also a hidden encounter quest. If you already sampled from all of the food stalls in Qinghe, you trigger a secret storyline and get a special reward. We also have oddities in the small maps, so the game actually wants you to explore every bits and pieces on the map, and they actually actively reward you with very important things. So speaking of oddities, oddities are one of the fastest way to get stronger earlier in the game because not everyone can run dungeons 5 times a day. And not a lot of people knows a lot of the weapon skills and they might not be able to fight the bigger boss before they reach level 51. So it's really important early on that you catch all these bugs. These are super easy to catch and it actually helps you to explore the maps, get more treasure chests, or like encounter more missions on your way. So now let me tell you how to catch these bugs. In Qinghe region, there are 6 different oddities. You have the mantis. You can hear a metallic clanging sound from afar, so you know it's a mantis oddity. So you just go closer and observe it and then capture it. The blindness flower. You stand a little further away to avoid being blinded and then shoot the purple butterfly above them. The numbers of flowers tells you how many butterflies there are. If you cannot find them or see it in your eyesight, just use the ear thing to know where they are. There are bugs in boxes or rocks. Just jump onto the small pile of boxes or rocks to release the insect and then capture them. Wasp next is actually a little bit dangerous, so keep your distance. They sting will poison you. You will have to be healed. Also, you have to use a fire arrow. If you use a wooden arrow, they will not die and then they will hunt you and poison you. The mushrooms. If you encounter a red glowing mushroom, that means there are insects above them. Normally it's enough if you jump twice or 3 times. But sometimes it is especially high up. That's when you have to observe, is there a high building nearby or is there a mountain nearby that you can climb and then jump down? If not, you can always build a ladder to climb down and catch them. The butterflies. So some of them are actually not oddities, but these are super important as well. In total, there are 4 types of butterflies. I already told you about the blindness flower butterfly, which are purple. Then we have a blue one. There are also the red ones. My personal favorite is the gold ones because they will always lead you into a scenic spot and then they will show you this like music video kind of thing with a really nice music and then some poetry. So except the purple butterflies, all you need to do is just follow them. They will give you rewards. The others you only follow once, but for the red one you have to find and follow up to 3 times. They correspond to the number of incense in front of the treasure chest to find their next location if you can't see. So in the Kaifeng region, they still have the butterflies, by the way. Like the blue, red, and golden ones, they exist in any maps. But the Kaifeng region in total only have 5 oddities. They are more alive and fun to catch, if I do say so myself. Sometimes you see a bird flying around with a branch in its mouth, so you shoot the branch and collect it. There's also a very loud frog that's easy to spot. You can't miss it because of the loud cracking. There is a bird nest oddity. You can hear a bird singing from afar, so you know that the oddity is on top. You basically just jump to the rooftop and then the bird will fly away. You just collect its nest. There's also a purple plant. So after you touch it, 1 to 3 little glowing balls will appear. You chase them and catch them. There is also a rat hiding in a bunch of jars, like this one. You just break and catch. You can't just catch oddities and do nothing. You have to submit them to the collectors in each regions for the rewards, the buffs, adding HPs, attack, and whatever. Qinghe and Kaifeng have different collectors, so make sure to hand them in this and this place. I talked about how sometimes you can't equip golden weapons. If it's not because of the lack of oddities, it will be because of the lack of Meow Meow challenges. The Qinghe and Kaifeng challenges are quite similar. You get cutting bamboo challenges, running to different location challenges, the flying challenge and the jumping challenge, shooting bell challenge, waiting goods challenge. These are pretty common. Like 80 of them are these challenges. But there are also some unique puzzle challenges, but most of them are quite easy. Normally, you need to find something to place on another surface. I will show you a few Meow challenge here, but if you got stuck by a certain one that I didn't show, please leave a comment so I can help you. I also have a Discord server. If you need to show me a screenshot or things better understood in a video, please go find me there. Shops. So a lot of you has asked me, where are the free cosmetics that you promised? Well, the free cosmetic is not in the store because you cannot buy them with real money. So be sure to check the social shop. That's where if you have a master disciple or wife, partner, sisterhood, brotherhood, you can also check the sect shop where you can get the sect clothes. You can also check the event store, and also there's sometimes achievements alongside of the exploration achievements. These are the place where you can get the outfits. Be sure to know like which of the points that you wanted to get through which specific task, and then you can work your way through the clothes. I actually don't know if like all the outfits are in the achievements because sometimes the system just randomly gives you something. I don't know like why they give to me. Maybe it was an achievement, I just never noticed. But like as you go on, there are just like tons of free shit. I also talked about in my videos of like dyeing your hair where to get the 12 free hairstyles. 12 free hairstyles. Just check this video. Now we're talking about gacha. So this is how the gacha system works in Where Ones Meet. So they give you a gacha ticket for free in many ways. For example, I've been playing for 3 months and I've already received about 160 tickets from the system, and I just pulled my first orb. So there's also a shop where you can exchange tickets for more pull every week. When I first started for maybe like 2 months, I didn't even know about this. So I missed so many free pulls. A lot of people talking about spending $600 for a rare hairstyle is crazy. But that only happens if you insist on getting a specific item immediately and use only your own money. If you don't want to spend, it's completely fine. You can rely on the free tickets the system gives you. And later, you can also exchange in-game currencies for more pulls. Over 6 months, you can easily get 2 full sets without spending a dime. If you are like super slow or a casual player, you definitely at least get one. So the gacha system has 2 types of pity. You have the soft pity and then you have the hard pity. The soft pity is after 115 pulls, you're guaranteed to get at least 1 orb. And the hard pity is after 300 pulls, you're guaranteed 2 orbs. But some players got lucky and pulled orbs much faster. But most people reach soft pity around maybe 140 pulls. So 2 orbs can usually be exchanged for a full set of clothes, and some hairstyles require only 1 orb. And yes, your pity always carries over to the next banner. For example, I pulled for about 40 or 50 pulls for the last banner, and this banner I pulled at 80 and I already got the orb. Office generally stays in a shop for a long time, even after they are renewed for a new outfit, so there's no rush to get them all immediately. You can exchange some of the outfit now, as long as you don't actually wear them. Later you can see something if you like better, you can swap again. Honestly, I personally haven't found a favorite gacha outfit yet. Some of the outfits you can buy directly with money, including the cheaper ones, and they feel so much more immersive. It really makes you feel like you're living in this wuxia world. I really never thought about, oh, this outfit is too expensive, or oh, only rich people can look good. In fact, some of the free outfits I have look way better than some of the gacha outfits, in my opinion at least. Especially for the female character, some gacha outfit extremely tight-fitting, and for me, that doesn't feel like a wuxia hero. It looks like a starving little girl. So I hear people saying that they're struggling to hit the target in the drinking game, and it is because your intoxication level is too low. Yes, you're not drunk enough to play it. You need to up your alcohol efficiency. So what you need to do is by doing more simple drinking games. You can know whether or not this drinking game is simple or hard just by looking at the stats right here. Or another great way of increasing your toxic level is the leaf game. When I first started, the circle in the drinking game was tiny and I couldn't keep the dots inside at all. But after a few rounds of leaf game, my intoxication level increased and the circle got bigger. Now hitting the pot is so much easier. I basically win every time. So how do you play the leaf game? Don't be intimidated by the word symbols. It's actually very simple. First, let me show you how to play by playing, and then I will summarize the rules. So first round, I got to play first, so I can send out any cards here. I send out 3 once. After you play your cards, you have to tell them what you played, and obviously all the cards are covered, so they don't know if you're telling lies, but they can question you, like this person just did. Because I was telling the truth, she needs to drink the wine, and she accidentally drank the poisonous wine, and she was out. So here, this person claimed that she has 8 different 7s. Obviously, she's tripping, that's why I'm questioning her, and it turns out she really was lying. So she actually drank the wine and got all the cards on the table. Now the chance of her drinking poisonous wine was up to 50%. In this round, she claimed she has 4 10s. Because she has a streak of lying, I questioned her, but I was actually wrong. She does have 3 golden cards and 1 10. That makes it 4 10s. So now I took all the cards, and next time when I drink, the chance of me getting poisoned is up to 50%. I think you got an idea how this works, but let me summarize it for you. So the cards have numbers 1 to 10. If 2 cards are stacks, it means 2 of the same number. 3 stacks count as 3, and so on. 4 players play 1 round each. The first players play a card, for example, a 7. The next player must also play a 7 or several 7s. They can question the previous player if they think they do not have a 7. If your challenge is correct, if your doubts proven to be right, the challenge player takes all the cards on the table. If you fail the challenge, you take all the cards. There are also gold cards, which are wild cards. You can use them as any number. For example, if someone played a 7, you don't have any 7s, but you have 3 wild cards, you can say, oh, I have 3 7s. If someone challenges your wild cards, it will fail because wild cards always count. If you have no cards and don't challenge, you have to drink. Drinking is a gamble in this point because it can include poisoned wine. If you drink poisoned wine, you take heavy damage and are immediately eliminated. The chance of drinking poisoned wine increases every time that you drink. At the start, the chance is only 25, but after 3 rounds, you are guaranteed to be poisoned.